Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the November 26th Lebanon Board of Works meeting. Our first order of business will be the Pledge of Allegiance. Member Taylor, you lead us, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next we'll move on to the roll call members. Madam Clerk, you call the roll.
Mayor Gentry.
Present.
Jane Taylor.
Here.
Mr. Stoner.
Present.
Dick Robertson is absent this evening, and Alan Milburn.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Clerk. Next will be the approval of the minutes. Any changes or amendments to the minutes from our previous meeting? Do we have just one or two?
We have, hold on a minute. We have two. One is the November 13th regular meeting, and the other one, we had a special meeting on November 15th.
That's right.
So it'll be for both of those.
Okay. So this time, we'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from our November 13th and November 15th meetings.
I make a motion we approve the minutes for the meeting of November the 13th and November the 15th.
Okay. We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion a second. All those say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, minutes are approved.
Thank you.
All right, now we'll move on to department head reports. First up is Police Department. Chief Wormuth.
Good evening, everyone. During the period between 11/13 and today's date of 11/26, the Lebanon Police Department responded to only 535 calls for service. They are down. A total of 24 persons were arrested for the following crimes: 7 wanted on a warrant, 3 for operating a vehicle while intoxicated, 2 for theft, 2 for domestic battery, 2 for residential entry, 1 for invasion of privacy, 1 for carrying a handgun without a license, 1 for pointing a firearm, 1 for possession of marijuana, 1 for possession of controlled substance, 2 for possession of methamphetamine, and 1 for possession of a syringe. Our office issued 6 handgun carry licenses. On November 13th to the 15th, I completed a course on the Citizens Complaints and Internal Investigations at the Public Agency Training Center in Indianapolis. The Lebanon Police Department is proud to announce that Captain Chad Morgan was honored on November 15th at the Boone County Chamber of Commerce dinner as Boone County's Law Enforcement Officer of 2018 for his heroic actions on March 2nd. Captain Morgan personally led the offensive action to take down one of the men charged with the murder of a police officer despite the danger to his own life. Captain Morgan is an outstanding officer and supervisor, and the department is very proud that he has received this well-deserved recognition. On November 17th, LPD was the host of the Guardian Firearms Academy for their ladies-only defensive pistol class. This class was attended by 21 of our local citizens who learned the basics of responsible firearms use. We hope to host more Guardian Firearms courses next year. These classes are open to the general public, well within the budget of most people, and offer outstanding training in the safe and responsible use of firearms for self-defense and for home defense. We encourage the public to keep an eye on our Facebook page for the 2019 classes. On November 19th, LPD hosted its final Violence 101 Self-Defense Seminar for women for 2018. We will begin these seminars again in February of 2019. Well over 100 women have attended this seminar during 2018, and we look forward to training and empowering more women in 2019 to take their own safety and the safety of their families as their own personal responsibility. I want to remind the public that LPD is still accepting pre-employment applications through mid-December. Pre-apps can be picked up at the Lebanon Police Station Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. You can also contact Ruthie, our admin assistant, at 765-482-8836, and she will arrange to have the forms emailed to you. I invite the public to contact us. You can speak to me personally if you have any questions about starting this career. It's one of the greatest jobs in the world, and I highly encourage people to come out and try for us. Nothing else at this time.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions from the board for Chief?
No.
Any questions from the public?
That'd be you, Jeff. You're the only one. You have any questions? Because you're the only one left.
All right, no questions then. We'll move on to the fire department.
Thanks, Ty.
Chief Baird.
Good evening, Mayor, Board of Works. I'm here in place of Chief Batts. He's covering the shift tonight till 7.
Since the last Board of Works meeting, Lebanon Fire Department has made 162 emergency calls of service, logged 158 training hours, performed 12 commercial inspections, provided 1 occupancy update, installed 6 car seats, and participated in 1 public education event. Over 90 firefighters from Boone and Hendricks County participated in 3 nights of live fire training from November 13th through the 15th. 25 LFD firefighters have completed the technician level test for heavy machinery extrication. The remaining department members are awaiting the test. This is an advanced certification that every member of our department will have. On November 28th and December 3rd, we will conduct first round board interviews for our hiring process. After our written exam and agility test, we are down to the number of 37 applicants. As of right now, Lebanon Fire Station 11 and 12 are now accepting new toys for the 2018 Boone County Toy Drive. Lastly, we're sad to announce the passing of retired firefighter Pete Brown. Pete is the father of Lieutenant Mark Brown, who's our department. Pete served the city of Lebanon from 1970 to 2002. So if you would, please keep the Brown family in your thoughts and prayers. That's it.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions from the board?
No.
Any questions from John or the public? All right, thank you. All right, next up is Parks Department. John Messenger.
Good evening. Christmas in the Cabin and the Christmas Parade will be this Saturday, December 1st. Christmas in the Cabin will be from 9:30 to 1 with a visit from Santa and Mrs. Claus to take pictures with the kids along with face painting and goodies. The Christmas Parade will start in the park at 6 p.m. and make its way to the square for the Heart of Lebanon celebration downtown. For more information and entering a float in the parade, which I think we have 6 or 7 new ones this year, contact the park office. Deadline for the parade entry is Thursday, November 29th. The second annual Turkey Day fun run was a great success this last Thursday, Thanksgiving Day at Memorial Park at AM. The monies went for the Caring Center and the Shalom House. They raised over $5,000 in that, and a lot of people out there, and it was a pretty nice day, really. It's awesome. All stays right here. The updates for Memorial Shelter, or upgrades for Memorial Shelter, are underway. Probably seen the roof come off, and we have more roofing to go on there, some metal roofing. It looks really nice. Again, Mr. Milburn's been heading that up and instrumental in the success there. Looking forward to seeing that finished product. Hopefully the weather will hold true for us. He's been hard at work, though. I think he stops by at least 3 times a day and checks on everything. But we appreciate his help and all the Rotary for all their help with the project. The Christmas lights in Memorial Park were turned on Thanksgiving night. Thanks to our maintenance staff for the hard work installing the lights. We have a new addition as far as that, and it's a J.O. sign over by the cabin. Lots of people coming out to make the Y for joy. It's been a big hit. So if you can, come out, take a picture. We've got illuminated now so you can get great pictures and send them to us so we can share them. Again, all the park projects are moving along. The splash pad, dog park, trails completed probably in 2019. Obviously, with the weather here, we were in short sleeves yesterday, and everybody's got heavy jackets and slipping and sliding around today. But yes, we're moving forward on it. I think everything's looking good. I did want to also say we just about a half hour ago, the Heine family donated 4 wreaths. They always put wreaths on the cabin. That was one of Fred's big heart. He's got a big heart. Always did it, put it out there for us. And most of the scenes that you see in the park come from the Heine family. So they're very, very good contributors to the park and always are very helpful on all our events. Also, want to thank Taylor and Allison in the office. They helped out writing a grant for solid waste. We received a check last week for $5,000 from solid waste. That'll go to a picnic table, some benches, some things like that, but want to thank them for that. And that's all I had.
Okay. Thank you, John. Any questions from the board?
The lights in the park look great, John. Thank you.
Thank you. We did have a little bit of vandalism. About 4 of them didn't go on. They fixed them today. By the way, I want to thank the police department because we probably prosecuted over 15 anyway. We are catching them. Our cameras are really good at it, and for those people we monitor and we go after them. I just had another court date last week, so I want to thank the police department, and the security cameras are a big success, so thank you. Yeah, thanks for that, though. Isn't it neat? Yeah, I wish we could light it up more, but hey, it is what it is. It's
Fun to
nice.
drive by.
Any other questions from the board?
No.
Any questions from the public? Okay, thank you, sir. Next is Engineering Department. Kevin Krulik. Thank you, and good evening, board members. I guess to add to a little bit what John was just talking about, Christmas, obviously the Christmas festivities scheduled for this Saturday, December 1st, those will end up downtown. Those will end up on Meridian Street. So working hard to wrap up a few things there to get ready for that. So you should see this week the walls on the courthouse start to be backfilled. The planters start to be backfilled. The last few touches on the electrical system should be put into place that will allow us to turn on the rest of the Christmas lights that wrap the new street light poles on Meridian. All that should be done in the next couple days, so all those things should be wrapped up before we get to the party and the parade on Saturday afternoon. So just I guess while we're on the downtown, a few other things to talk about that have happened since our last meeting. Water services on Washington Street have all been completed. The water main extension on Main Street, extending the water main west of 39, getting that out of the right-of-way, was also completed on the 15th. We had some issues, as many of you might know, with a gas main or a gas service lateral that was previously unknown to anybody, including Vectren, but that was taken care of that night, and I got to thank the guys that what was supposed to be a quick night that turned into an all-night affair. But thanks for everyone who responded in that instance, from our construction crews to the Vectren crews, and of course to our friends in the police and fire department who had to stand by in an issue such as that when we had a gas main break, or a gas lateral break, excuse me. It was not a main. But that main was extended the next night and got that out of the right-of-way. Vectren also was scheduled to be there and continued their efforts on relocating gas mains on West Main Street. That is for both the last phase of the downtown project as well as the next phase of the West Main Street and Big Four Trail project. All the traffic signal pole foundations are in the intersections of Main and 39 and Main and 39 and Washington. We did open up this morning, actually, the parking spaces on the south half of the west side of the courthouse, but we did close down the north half of those parking spaces on the west side of the courthouse, so that we could remove the wall and curbs and get ready for new wall foundations and the new limestone wall to come in the coming weeks. On the north side on Washington Street, subgrade preparation is complete. Unfortunately, this did involve an extra 12 inches of undercutting on that street. We had some really bad soft soils up there, unlike what we had seen on any of the other two sides of the courthouse, but we had some bad soils up there. We had to undercut the street about 12 inches and bring in some geogrid to secure that subgrade. But that is now complete, and we're moving forward. Work expected in the coming days. We will be doing the water main connection in the intersection of 39 and Washington. That will happen Wednesday night. That will involve some water outages. All those people have been noticed. We've also noticed NDOT, and we are prepared to do that work under traffic. So if you're driving through there late at night on Wednesday, you will see some flaggers directing traffic there. You won't have to detour, but you will be potentially stopped by the flagging crews, and we just ask you to slow down and give those people the room they need to do that work in some really awful cold weather temperatures and conditions. So we just ask that you be understanding as they complete that work. Curbs and walks are also going in on Washington. The Silva cells will start going in next week on Washington. So a lot of work to get done in the next couple weeks as we prepare to start laying pavers sometime in the second week or so of December. So a lot going on the north side. Let's see, the right now, we are under a schedule that would complete Washington Street as well as the State Road 39 intersections. Probably just the week before Christmas is when all that would wrap up, is where we're tentatively looking at now. But a lot of weather and a lot of time between now and then for those things to happen. But that is the tentative schedule that the contractor has provided the city with. Again, look for our ongoing updates on the project. Continue to support all of our downtown businesses. And we hope to see you all downtown for the parade. Next phase of the project, West Main Street. Notice of award was issued to White Construction. The bond closing is scheduled for December 6th with an expected notice to proceed the day after that on December 7th. We look for construction to begin sometime in late February with the utility work. No road closures are permitted, though, until April 1st. And any utility work that would begin prior to April 1st, they will have to do that under traffic by flagging the traffic around that construction. Businesses and resident access must also remain open at all times. Backing up to some older projects, the East Street projects, we are just wrapping up review of the as-built submitted by the contractor. The final trees were installed the week of the 12th. And so as soon as we get those as-built approved, that will wrap up that project. The Northern Interchange feasibility study, we'll hear more about this later tonight at the City Council meeting, but we are planning to submit that project under the LPA notice for funding availability for fiscal year 2024. So we talk more about that tonight, but that application is due on December 7th. We are proposing a local match of 20%. Remind everyone that would be a $14 million match on a approximately $70 million project. That does also include the relocation of 52 and the relocation of 39, readjusting those alignments to connect with this new interchange. That also includes a 3-mile relinquishment of State Road 39 through town, of which we should net approximately $10 million or up to $10 million for the city from the state of Indiana. So that's, you ask where do we come up with $14 million? That's where we'll come up with the bulk of that money. That would not be needed fully until 2024. On to other things, the pavement resurfacing program. I think we have one street segment. I know we have one street segment left to be resurfaced. That's West Elm Street, west of Coombs. There's also miscellaneous ADA ramps. Most likely, though, with the weather forecast and the temperatures where they're at, we will not complete that work until 2019. But for the most part, that project is wrapped up. Be a few miscellaneous concrete pours and one remaining surface project to be done. Indianapolis Avenue Phase 2, utility relocation work has begun. You might see some material laying out there. That's material for the Vectren pipeline relocations. So they are beginning to mobilize. Tree clearing is complete thanks to our street department on jumping on that phase of the project. Stump removal is scheduled to follow. Utility relocation work will go through the winter and wrap up in the spring. We're looking at an NDOT letting of January 16th. With an estimated start of reconstruction of the road sometime in the fall of next year, completing in the spring or early summer of 2020. Grant Street project, NDOT, the NDOT contract has been executed. We're just waiting on NDOT's funding approval for those design contracts, as well as a notice to proceed, and we should see that sometime before the end of the year. Again, construction is not expected until 2021 or 22. Riley Ridge, I did see them mobilizing this morning for curb installation, so that curb work has started there. Sunbrook is still going through their approvals and expected to gain those sometime this winter and start construction. Drake Estates remains to be on the planning boards and scheduled for a hearing sometime in December. And last, certainly not least, one of our favorite projects is our State Road 39 bridge inspection program. Happy to report that our last inspection, which was done in July, was successful. There were no issues reported with that inspection, and we were successfully able to petition the state of Indiana to allow us to go to 6-month inspection cycles. We had previously been on a quarterly inspection cycle. So our next inspection is scheduled for December and scheduled to happen on December 4th and 5th. We're confident we'll be successful there, and assuming we are, we have on pretty good authority that NDOT will let us go to yearly permit inspections. So this will be the last inspection that was previously approved under the current inspection contract. So once we complete this one here in December, we'll wrap up that contract, close that out with the final billing, and then we'll look for a new contract sometime in the summer of next year to take us into the next inspection cycle.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Kevin. Any questions from the board?
No.
Any questions from the public? Okay, thank you, sir. Next up is Planning Department, Ben Bontrager.
Good evening, board members. I've got a quick report for you this evening. With the Thanksgiving holiday last week, and the office closed for a number of days, so we didn't have as much in terms of inspections and permits, as well as the fact that Makeda wasn't here today, so I don't have stats for you on the code enforcement. But we do remain busy, although we are starting to see a little bit of a winter slowdown. We did an additional 19 building inspections over the last couple of weeks and then issued 15 new permits. And I did want to point out there are 3 exciting commercial projects that are getting underway that you might start seeing some activity. The first is Lebanon Gateway Marketplace. This is the retail development at State Road 32, Interstate 65. They're going to be this week starting to demolish those 2 old industrial buildings. So you will start to see a flurry of activity out there as they take down those 2 big buildings. So that'll be an exciting project, and they are starting to get some tenants that are signing on the dotted line. Hopefully we can make some announcements before too long of what those first tenants might be, and we'll see some of those building pads starting to get ready next spring. Second one is the old Prairie Industries building on Patterson Street. They have started doing some demo work of that building over the last probably about almost month. So that building is starting to come down and will be replaced over the next year with a speculative industrial building after they get all the environmental issues cleaned up. So that's a pretty nasty site that's been an issue for a number of years, and that'll be getting replaced here with once the environmental issues are cleaned up with a new building. So pretty excited about that. And last but not least, new medical office building is going to be constructed on South Lebanon Street right before you get to the interstate. The collection of 4 vacant homes on the west side of the road that's been a frequent stop for homeless people along Interstate 65. They're supposed to be starting to tear those down any time now, replacing it next year with about a 20,000 square foot medical office building for a family practice. So pretty excited about all 3 of those projects. 1 for what the projects are, and 2 for what they're replacing. So those will be fun to see those go up. Finally, on our comprehensive plan, we do continue to work along that train, still moving along. The steering committee will be meeting again on December 4th, and just continue to review those goals and objectives for the plan. Just remind everyone that the project website is www.lebanonredefined.com, so continue to go there for updates. We do continue to post surveys there, so keep providing your feedback. And then the next open house and next public involvement will be after the first of the year, probably in January, February. So just keep everybody in mind on that, and we'll be advertising that once we get a date finalized. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Ben. Any questions from the board? Any questions from the public? Okay, thank you, sir.
Thanks, Ben.
Next up, Street and Stormwater Department, Dave Newell.
Hello. Let's see, right, well, we are out salting right now, some bridges, so hopefully this doesn't get too crazy on us. But the street department we received 62 calls since our last meeting. Most of those were leaves, but 20 were for brush, 5 calls for dead animals, 27 of those were for leaf pickup. We had 10 calls for recycling set up, so. Let's see, we do have all 4 leaf machines out still. We're still following the trash route for anybody the public or whatever. We didn't make it all the way through Mondays. We have 2 more additions, so we're just going to continue tomorrow to start off Mondays, and this should be our last pretty good hurrah. Everybody was raking over the weekend. It was so nice out. So this should punch a big list in it as long as we can make it through this week. Probably carry maybe a couple trucks through the next week just because we have some pickups scheduled for December, but other than that, we're going to start setting the smaller trucks up for winter, get ready. Have to clean them up. But We have had the limbs out in the chipper truck as well. We got enough guys now where we can run 4 leaf machines and the chipper truck, which makes it nice. So keeps us on top of that as well. We did have a big sinkhole or a pipe repair out at 100 South that the guys had to repair last week, so we took care of that. It's 3 foot, probably 3 foot. I think I talked to Ken Hedge. It was just an old field tile that runs those houses out there, so we got that handled. It was right off the road, so we want to make sure that was taken care of. We just keep cleaning off the leaves off the storm drains, even though it doesn't look like it the next day, but they're staying clean. We continue to do all the inspections that we usually have to do with the Riley Ridge, and some of these sounds like we need to go out there and inspect some of these, sneaking in some curb on us maybe, but in this weather, so we got to stay on top of that. We do have all of our big trucks set up. It's 5, counting the one truck for uptown is 6. So, and over our ice storm, we used roughly around 80 tons of salt. If that gives you an idea. And that was with 5 trucks. So, but yeah, I mean, we did everything we would do with all the trucks. It just took a little longer. We didn't use any uptown, or we didn't. John might have. And I wanted to give a shout out to John and his guys. I was up there. Our guys were out, you know, on the streets, but I was doing downtown. We had the truck set up, and I worked with all the park guys. I think showed up when it was a long night. Pretty long night. I think me and John met at midnight. I think he pulled up to the shop. I was loading trucks up with salt and ended up at the Parks Department in to check out a gas leak and check out downtown, and we just made it a whole night of it, unfortunately, but that's the way it works. But that's all I have.
I will say I did have very good feedback from people that they appreciated the great work you guys did downtown. For that, and the county employees appreciated that. It looked really well. You did a great job of it.
Hands-on.
Yeah, I know ice storms are always the worst, right?
Yeah,
so
that's what we said. It couldn't have been a worse test, but I guess if you're going to get one, that's the way to go.
Yeah. So, any questions for Dave from the board?
No.
Any questions from the public? Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
And last but not least, communications and community development. Joe LePage.
Good evening, everyone. Hopefully everyone had a great Thanksgiving. I wanted to start with kind of a recap of some of what John said and also Kevin as well. December 1st, big day to kick off the Christmas festivities, the holiday festivities. We start with Christmas with Santa at Arnie's, and then around midday, as John mentioned, at Memorial Park, great festivities there in the cabin and thereabouts. Also in the courthouse as well, Pixie Playhouse. There is the Ice Princess competition again this year, and a number of different youth organizations will also be taking part in various events throughout the day inside the courthouse. There'll be once again hot chocolate inside that area as well. Also downtown, all the businesses, of course, will be open, and we're adding a sweet market this year to go along with the live reindeer and the living snow globe. And so a lot of our city market vendors are going to provide some Christmas and holiday specific sweets for you under a covered tent, large tent there, 20-foot by 30-foot tent downtown. And so to add to the whole kind of ambiance of the whole area, there'll be games for the kids as well as some photo ops if you don't have time to get out and get some family pictures for the holidays. There will be different scenes that will be set up downtown so you can get those pictures taken to be able to get those Christmas cards turned around and out before the 25th. And so all that takes place and is all free of charge happening on the 1st. And as John mentioned, the parade will start from the park at 6 p.m. and then head downtown. We've got extra lights that came in today, multicolored lights that Lebanon Utilities. They've been great about putting those up. And so they're going to put that on our last remaining large pine tree that will serve as Santa's tree this year. And so the switch will be once again flipped. Santa will choose a young boy or girl, and they'll help them flip that switch and then go inside the courthouse to hear what kids have on their respective Christmas lists. And so that's all happening on the 1st. A lot of fun for the entire family. And so really encourage everyone to come out and support all those organizations, from the service organization that has Santa to, of course, the parks, and then all the folks downtown and wrapping up their shopping. On the video front, we've wrapped up this year Lebanon Legends videos with Spencer Baston, race car driver from Lebanon, of course. Reed Schaller just got drafted by the Washington Nationals, also, of course, Lebanon graduate. And then right before the Thanksgiving holiday, Drew Powell was in town from California, and so we sat down with him to talk a little bit about his upbringing in Lebanon. So we have those 3 outstanding videos that we are putting together, and so look forward to bringing you in the near future some Lebanon Legends videos highlighting some folks who've gone on to do great things already and tout their hometown of Lebanon and things around. So something new we're starting in 2019. Want to wrap up with this. We are kicking off, for lack of a better term, it's a 2019 venture. We are highly supportive of our Lebanon Tigers sports teams. We all wear the black and gold and really do a great job of supporting sports teams. But we also, from a community's perspective, want folks to have a reason to wear the Lebanon, Indiana brand. And so we are launching an initiative that's going to start off with shirts, sweatshirts, and then go into other promotional items as well. We're loosely dubbing the Love in Lebanon store. It'll be online and also in a physical location as well. Higher quality is what we're going for here. And we've been working with some designers, and I've designed some as well. And we have a model that's helped us out with some of our material here. Right there, that is Drew Powell sporting our Lebanon Legends, or sporting our Love in Lebanon shirt that will be one of the first iteration of that will be coming out here pretty soon. And so we appreciate Drew doing that. But again, we have 6 or 7 designs that are going to come out on long sleeve, short sleeve. And again, these are, if you're familiar with Life is Good, it's not a regular t-shirt quality. It's more of, it's a real comfy shirt to wear. And so we'll have those for you to buy online and again, as well as in physical form. Here's something unique though. The money from those shirts, we're going to keep the price point around $20. $10 will go to help fund for more shirts and keep the operational proceeds going. The other half will go to the nonprofit of your choice. And so you'll be able to, like Drew did, wear Lebanon, Indiana brand stuff, rep where you're from type thing. You'll be able to give back as well. And so you're not only helping out your community, but you're helping out a nonprofit of your choosing. And so we're putting all that stuff together, putting the online store on our website, lebanon.in.gov. And we'll hopefully we are shooting for that to happen in the new year. And so assortment of colors of the gear, different logos, guys, gals, you name it, kiddos. We'll have all those for you online. It's something we're kicking off in 2019. Finally, our newsletter comes out on December 3rd this month. Info@lebanon.in.gov is a place to send all of your information that's coming out. You can find all the information about the upcoming events for this weekend on our website currently, and some ones going forward as well. And again, that's info@lebanon.in.gov. And you can send a little information, a little picture is always helpful, and we get that and turn it around now that we have a new online provider. We're guaranteed to have fewer website crashes, knock on wood, so looking forward to that.
All right. Thank you, Joe. Any questions for Joe from the board?
No.
Any questions from the public? Okay, thank you very much. All right, and that concludes department head reports. So this time we'll move on to old business. And I don't have anything on my agenda for old business. Anything from the board?
No.
Okay, move on to new business. And there was a late addition that I had that I forgot to, when I was writing these agendas back on Tuesday, I forgot this one. This was a park surplus declaration. John, do you want to come forward and talk about those?
Of course, I forgot the paperwork, but Bill has looked at both vehicles, a Tahoe and a Chevy, or no, a Dodge.
No, it's a Dodge and a Ford Explorer Expedition.
Yes, Expedition.
What are the years on them, Bill?
We got a 2001 Dodge pickup truck, four-wheel drive 1500, and a 2001 Ford Expedition.
Okay, so 17 years, probably worth, appreciate their service, the city.
They've seen their better days. I think we got one from the police department and one from the street department, so yes.
Okay, so they got their useful life.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, any questions about those vehicles?
One of them will be turned into enterprise, and then the other one you have an outright sale for that one?
The Expedition, was that right, or the Dodge?
No, the Expedition.
The Expedition, I believe we do. Have you heard something?
No.
Okay.
I'm just going by what you said.
There was one that wanted to buy it for $500 or $600, I think it was. I think, is the fee for it now $600?
Well, we got 750 on it. I mean, if it's...
Yeah, I think he was going $500. I think that was the original agreement way back when, and then it changed. It went up a little bit. I will get with you on that,
Get,
but I was
get with
surplus.
me on that, we'll work something out, because I know it's trash.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay, let me know.
Sentimental value for somebody, I guess.
So this time we'll entertain a motion to declare those two vehicles surplus for the parks.
I make a motion, we declare these two vehicles, the 2001 Dodge and the 2001 Ford Expedition surplus.
Okay, we have a motion to declare those surplus. Is there a second? Second. Motion and a second. All those here say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, those vehicles are declared surplus. Thank you very much, Sean.
Thank you.
All right, that concludes what I have for new business. Anything from the board? Okay, then we'll move on to claims, and we entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we approve the claims.
We have a motion to approve the claims. Is there a second?
I second the motion.
Motion and a second. All those here say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, claims are approved, and we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, we are adjourned. Our next meeting will be Monday, December 10th at 5:30. Thanks for watching.
Good.
All right.